Okay.
Access means entry level. It means allowing people to participate. It means just allowing people to enter something and to be part of something. And it's almost widening the circle, so that people can be part of that circle.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mwene Inchi Monday, where we discuss all things governance, and we're doing a special segment and series on the Unstuck annual conference, whose theme this year is access. And I'm having a conversation with all the people who put together the Unstuck conference. And my guest today is Jemimah. Mima, I call her all sorts of many names, but she'll introduce herself to you. I know you're a marketer, so maybe you can tell the Just Angie. Welcome for the Just Angie show and shoot, and just be yourself. Tell us about yourself. You come from a marketing background, so maybe talk about that a little bit, and then we'll go into access.
Okay, first, thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be part of the Just Angie platform. I'm a marketer, as you've said. I have been working in different industries. So I've been in FMCG, and now recently I've been in the food industry. And about 3 years ago, I decided to go into coaching, actually after an Unstuck conference.
Oh, really?
Yes. So in 2016, after serving, I started thinking about what are the things that I want to do, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? And I thought I really want to pour into people. And I started thinking what would be the right thing to do, and so I decided to do coaching certification. And interestingly enough, that's the time you were setting up PLF Coaching Center.
Wow.
Yes, I think you set it up in December of that year. So I'm also a certified coach.
And I'm sure you're a very good coach.
Oh, thank you.
You're a good listener. You know, people like me, when we went into coaching, we had to stop talking, because me, I have all the solutions. You give me one problem, I have 25 solutions for this problem.
No, you're a great coach.
No, I think coaching helped me, because it told me the whole idea is not to talk, but to listen. So I even catch myself. I say, listen. Just ask one or two questions, listen, and then it's so amazing because it allows people to talk.
It does.
It really allows people to just take off what they've been feeling, take things that have been on the back burner and bring them to the forefront. So I love it. I really do. Wow. And Unstuck, then, the access theme, what are your thoughts about access? And when I say access, or as you and the team were coming up together with this plan, what are your thoughts towards that? Towards
access? Well, access is a very broad topic. I think even when we were having the discussion within the team, we thought about access from so many different angles. So we're all excited about access, but then we started thinking about access in so many different ways. And especially for me as a marketer, access means entry level. It means allowing people to participate. It means just allowing people to enter something and to be part of something. And it's almost widening the circle, so that people can be part of that circle. People who may not have been able to be part of the circle now have access to that circle. And for me, when you talk about that, I remember when I'm a marketer too, and you know, when you're a marketer, it's in your system, it's in everything. I used to carry coffee in the boot of my car. Now I carry manuals. I mean, I'm always like, I quickly bring the product. Always carry let
the
people
product.
Taste it.
And that's what I would say. I remember saying to the merchandisers, I used to tell them, you know, if you give me the opportunity to taste another product, if you give me access to something else, I might not come back to your product.
That's true.
So I was very key on making sure that the shelves are stacked properly, the visibility, getting favor, you know, putting sort of signage around it, because I never not having the product available. Because I was like, then you give a client an opportunity, or a customer to taste something else, and they might not come back to your product. So I think access, even as you were speaking, I was thinking as a marketer, that's what we want. We want people to always have access to our product. Our product is placed well, it's positioned properly, and people have access to it, and it never runs out. I think that's a real win-win situation in terms of access and marketing. Making it from that way. What about access as a coach?
Access it's so interesting. Yesterday, we were just talking earlier about the Nairobi Chapel Coaching Initiative.
Yes.
And
Nairobi
yesterday
Chapel
was Nairobi Chapel Lavington.
Yes.
And yesterday was the induction session.
Oh.
And the lead coach was telling us how one of the reasons she got into coaching was because she realized a lot of the times the emphasis, even in organizations or in any environment, usually favors the people who look like they are with it, or the people who look like they're accelerating. You know, those MT programs, they're usually for the people who have shown this very high potential. But for her, she believes that potential is in everybody.
Yes, it is.
And so access for me as a coach means allowing people the shot to being the best version of themselves.
That is so awesome.
So it's how can I make sure that, you know, the same way you've allowed me this platform to come and speak about my thoughts on access, how can you allow people to understand who they are, understand their strengths, understand their God-given purpose, so that then they can be able to come at their purpose and come at their lives in the best version of themselves. So when I think about access as a coach, I think it's really giving you the best shot at life, and it's the opportunities, it's giving the list of these, because even for Jesus, it was about the list of these. It wasn't, Jesus didn't go for the top guys, the elite, the Pharisees. It was the list of these. He interacted with the people who didn't look like, you know,
the highly unlikely.
The highly
unlikely.
And those are the ones who shock you.
Let me tell you, you don't even understand what you've said. Me, you know, we can be in a meeting and we're doing something, and they're always the ones who will know. They'll be at the forefront. They'll be speaking. They'll be giving. Then you ask the quietest one in the room. You know, I always want to either, because what they deliver. Just, you know, it's just that they don't have access. You know, maybe they're trying to fight for a space there to say something. So maybe, because I'm not one, I think, are you an introvert? They just keep quiet. Sure, I am an so I don't know why do you guys keep quiet with stories? Because when you then remove the point, the strategy, we're all left like, wow. But it's like you have to be given an opportunity to speak. So I usually will look for the quietest person, and then, or the person who hasn't said anything, and then ask them, and then they'll say forward. But why is it that introverts, you want to keep in with the information and not share the information with us?
I think it's because we really process. We take time to really.
This processing is too long.
It's and maybe everybody needs a platform. Everybody needs to be given the opportunity. So introverts, I think we take time to process. We take time to think about it, and I think it's good to have people who then allow you to speak, because you might never ever speak, and you might die with this. I've been in spaces where I've had you asking those people, and then they say something and you're like, wow, that's profound.
And I was like, you were going to leave this room without saying that? That's what I usually say. And then two other things have come to mind. Once when we were in Israel, you know, Israel is, but I think I understand, is the only nation where I've done an exit interview that was more difficult than entering the country.
It's true.
And we were in a big group, honestly. We were with you.
We were with you, yes.
But you know what's shocking? How I knew this is intelligence, I think they're the Mossad. And I said, this is intelligence. Out of the group of 18 of us, people were noisy, cozy. Could be they'd been watching us all this time we came. Then they chose to do the interview with the quietest person amongst us. Do you remember?
Mary.
We almost had a heart attack. Myself. I was like, that's it. We're done, because Mary never says anything. Mary's always very quiet.
Yeah.
So, and you know, you have to say where you went.
But she had all the information.
She did all of it. But look at how intelligent they were. They looked at everybody else here, causing, making noise everywhere. They chose the one who was quiet.
Who looked like, they might.
And they asked her questions. She answered well. She knew the answers. But oh my goodness, I was like, this is intelligent. So I always think about that one. That they picked her out.
Yeah, they did. And it's so amazing, because I didn't even notice when they were picking her out.
I didn't either. I saw her in front of the intelligence, and I was like, what? But she really delivered well. So that was good. And I like that. I like that they looked at that. They looked at the people who are not going to, the person who looks the most, the quietest, the introvert as well. And I think also it helps to process, you know, because some of us, we don't process things. We have spoken before we have processed, and then it lands us in all sorts of trouble.
But you know, there's room for everybody. I think there's room for the one who takes opportunity quickly, because that's the one who sort of leads. Usually they're the leader. They take the stage, they take, you know, during that elevator pitch, they'll be the one who give the idea quickly. But then now there's now the time for this other one who's thought through, and then now they add to the leadership of the one that has sort of brought the idea forward. So there's, I think God is interesting in the way he created all of us, because there's room
for all of us,
for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think with many situations there has to be the compatibility, but also the contrastability, if there's such a word. We have to contrast, you know, and our diversity and our the different energy we bring to a room or to a space. We are all required, and the different color that we can give. And I think the other thing I love about, I'm thinking about access and coaching, is I love when you're coaching somebody and they come into their aha moment, because you give them access into their own thoughts. You allow them to think.
Yeah, and you know, even when they were training us as coaches, one of the things they said is, don't let your own ideas sort of hijack that conversation. Because what happens is, even us, because when you're coaching somebody, it's easy for you to be carried away. You can start thinking, if I was the one who was...
Me, I'm the one who's usually carried away. I've usually built 5 plans in my head as I'm trying to remain quiet.
Yeah, so it's so easy for you to also add into that conversation and bias it. And so they say to you as a coach when they're training you, don't interject, don't bring in your own ideas, just allow this person to sort of develop their own thinking. And you might be surprised the level and the extent to which they'll be able to develop the idea. And that's why coaching is even more superior to, say, mentorship, because mentorship is limited by the mentor's ability and where the mentor has reached. But with coaching, because God has put something in all of us, you might be surprised. This person has an idea that, like, you know, they might be not, they might even be young, or they might be underskilled in that particular area, but they come up with an idea that shocks you. But because you've allowed them to process it, you've held that space for them, they're able to come up with amazing ideas that change the world.
And I was going to think, I think with the Unstuck platform, as we bring this to a close, we're giving the marketplace access to some amazing leaders, you know, absolutely amazing leaders. We're giving you access to have a conversation with them. And that's another thing I like, because they'll be coaching you sort of, they're coaching your process, you know, maybe the things you're processing. Then when you listen to them and you hear their experiences and things that they've done, it also gives you the ability to do. The ability to see, if this person did it, I can do it. Or this person did it this way, this is how I'm feeling the tweak is going this way. So I love that the theme about access and the Unstuck annual conference this year is also going to give you access to some amazing leaders. And I love always hearing their stories. And when they share their stories and how they did it, it gives you access to you going out there and doing something great for God.
That's true.
So thank you so much, Jem. Thank you for coming.
Wow, thank you for allowing me to come. And sharing my thoughts on access, and even just for being part of the Unstuck team. I really grow, my skills develop, even the amazing team that we get to organize the event with. I mean, they challenge me, and so I'm better for it.
And you know, you're such a motley crew, you know, the way God puts you together to execute. I think some people say that there's never anywhere else on the planet that would have been together doing this, but God brings different people together, and they do such an amazing job. And this will be your 3rd year with the particular team.
With this particular team,
it will be the 3rd year.
It will be our
And I remember the first time, but anyway, you'll have to get some insight. The Jem was put on the marketing team. She was asking, where's the budget? I was going to tell her, you're the budget.
Yes, we were thrown into, come up with the resources.
Yes, that's how the Holy Spirit works. But you've done an excellent job. You even got us billboards that we had not been on previously. So you see how you just bring people, throw them in the deep end.
It's called being challenged by your coach and being pushed so that you're able to come up with even bigger ideas.
And it's amazing how you deliver. Then I don't know why that's brought to Israel. I remember Israel, I think by the time we got to Israel, you'd received the negative report from the billboard sponsor.
I was like,
what did I tell you?
I remember you were just like, just calm down. It's going to be okay.
Yes.
And I remember, I think even, I don't remember whether it's when we came back, but I remember when we came back, in addition to even getting the billboard, we
had more.
We even had more. They even wanted to print for us the flexi,
which used to be.
So and I remember that time, we were trying to figure out budget, but in the end, it
all works out. This is God's project.
This is God's project.
And you know, when I was in Bible school, they used to say, listen, us, we're here. You know, we're here. We're ready to execute this. There you say to God. So that now God comes and backs it. We're here. And then I was trying to tell you, now we're in Israel. We focus
It's
on
true.
Israel and the miracles of Israel.
I'm like,
and
how
being
are
in the
we focusing
nation,
on Israel?
Forget about billboards. They will sort themselves out. And they did.
They did, yeah. I think the good thing about God's agenda is you start with the what, and then he figures out the rest. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. God bless you. I hope you've had that, you've enjoyed that conversation. Remember the Unstuck conference on the 1st and the 8th of August this year. Look out for the details. God bless. Bye-bye.